Hi everyone, I'm Butley. I'm here with Patch today. Hello, Patch.
Hello, did you almost call me Little Patch?
No, I may have slurred when I was talking slowly. So this
Alright.
is Arcel. Did you see that? The Thunder Maiden.
Ah, RSL.
She's listed as the Thunder Maiden. Arcel Daniel. We kind of know all this, I believe. She told us they were captured. Her brother was injured and then taken to the Galgastani camp at Musa. And then, yeah, I just looked at Donalto there because you mentioned his cloak last time and I thought it was funny. We do something new and unique. We're going to hire someone today.
What a terrible waste.
What?
You should only be recruiting, sir.
We're recruiting people to the cause by paying them money. I was looking at the names, Winter, because we have to name our character. We don't have to, but we choose to. Spoiler.
I'm looking there at Legions.
What are we gonna pick, sir? Which type? What's your guess?
I don't know. An mage, definitely, because we've only got the one.
You can see the little numbers there that tell you like how many of each we have. We only have one.
Alternatively,
as well. How do you pronounce that?
You
name?
might just.
Jermaine?
I have no idea.
We get to pick alignments, so I thought I would have a quick look at what the alignments mean. Not 100% sure if I've seen them come up in the story. Doesn't mean it doesn't, just means that I don't remember the story that well. And I decided we wanted a custom name.
Okay. What did you rename Helenor?
There's no real, I guess, reason or relevance. I just thought up a name and went with it.
Okay.
I tried to pick something appropriate to the setting. Originally,
I know a shotgun named Annabelle once.
Yeah, right.
You're now dubbed Shotgun.
I was going
You'll fit right in.
I was gonna be creative and call her with one N, so it was more like Anna. But then I decided that looked silly when I wrote the whole thing out. So Annabelle, I'll probably still call her Anna because it's easier. And so now we're gonna go get some spells, and I've decided that Anna is going to be a water mage. We have the Rune Fencer. He is casting fire, and we have our Bouchard, our normal mage, and he is casting dark. And I decided we needed a water mage for. We won't actually see most of the reasons until it'll probably come into fruition later, but it's worth getting one now, and you'll see why in the battle and in the upcoming battle.
Sure.
I'm
doing
a little bit of research on what's coming, so I'm trying to prepare properly so I don't have to redo battles.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And I figure you need your water type to beat their fire types.
I don't know exactly. There is definitely things like that. Like when you meet dragons later, they like, you know, if you have a fire dragon, it probably is weak to water, so.
You're never going to get away from Pokemon jokes in this. It's just inevitable.
So what you got to understand is people can't actually use magic types unless you teach them like that water magic, which I just did. So I was just looking, there are other things I wanted to teach, like meditate. I'm obviously kind of a big fan of and things, but I don't have enough points to do any of that yet. But you can't learn any spells until you have the water magic seal, so I taught that so we could teach those water spells. And we get a look at a few other spells this time too. Don't go into them here, but in the battle we'll have time.
Toxic Broom.
Quench is kind of cool, which we don't think we can use yet. I think I try and teach Stagnate and I can't. I have a look at the classes that can learn these things. No, that one I can learn. It's Aquaguard I couldn't learn. It's only Rune Fencers.
Well, we'll
what
get there
Aquaguard
eventually.
does is mean you don't take damage from other mages casting water spells, which kind of sounds like but then when you think about it, it's like, well, if I have a water mage, I might as well teach them Aquaguard, right? It's just another spell, and if you use it, then you use it. If not, no, who cares?
Is there a limit to how many spells they can learn?
Nope.
Excellent.
Just when I do that, I'm just checking that he can eventually learn it. He's just too low a level, so I just do that.
Yeah.
And I was just having a look. The problem is, some of the divine spells are like healing and support, and some of the divine spells are offensive. But whereas the other, so you know, your clerics can learn so many. It's always a bit of a who can learn what. Did I just teach myself a divine spell? No, catch you.
God, don't teach yourself a divine spell. Heroes are never holy.
I'm pretty sure I do. Am I doing that
Oh,
now?
no.
I'll do that later. Spoilers. Oh, no, wait. That's definitely spoilers. I don't teach myself anything, guys. Honest. I just remembered. That's a story for another time. I made a bit of a mistake there.
Pretend I didn't hear it.
The circlets are good for mages early on, and I should have given her the circlet, but oh well. Oops.
Stuff happens.
Just sort of flicking through introductory. I know this is kind of boring to a spectator, but the beginning of the fight is cool, and I don't want to go into too much else because we go straight into the fight after this. And on our quest, this is basically just a battle. Now we've done some administrative stuff, picked up a new mage. We just have one big battle today. We're on our quest to find Lancelot. He is on the fields behind the main army of the Wallister. So we're figuring we can talk to him and he can help us like clear our minds of what we should and shouldn't do. Now we have to let someone drop so we can bring our new character.
Rune Fencer.
Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze.
Your Rune Fencer is really just like... I don't know, is there something about Rune Fencers that makes them great? Because your current Rune Fencer really just hasn't been shining right now.
Okay, so you're exactly right. This is the type of cool thing I like to talk about. Okay, yes, they don't bring the damage or the magic at this point. Later on, they will be amazing. They probably scale better than any character, any type. No, there's at least one other type that's better, but they scale like absolutely crazy later on. The other thing you get from a Rune Fencer, and maybe it will be relevant maybe in the next couple of fights, like, I'm not really sure. Rune Fencers can do something every turn. The problem is, like, if you have an archer and you get a bad line of sight, you're stuck. If you have a mage and you run out of MP, you get stuck. If you have a warrior and you can't melee someone, you get stuck. A Rune Fencer, they're mobile. They can like climb heights and swim through water and stuff. They have magic. They have spears. It just
Whoa.
This guy's cool. Point is, anyway, to wrap that off, Rune Fencer's a jack of all trades, but later on, that's so useful.
Recruit the octopus.
As a pawn. You can. I can't yet, but you can.
Ah.
I love this, he laughs. I love that image.
Wait, there's many ladies on the team.
No, he's talking to Quechua.
I know, but why specifically her?
Because she like lashed out at him, and he's like, I like that in a woman, I will spare you. He's basically like a Viking.
Yeah.
You know what's coming.
A Norse invasion of England?
Get ready. Are you ready for excitement? I did the thing. Here it comes. Boop!
What?
I was playing around.
Oh my god.
And I made a little graphic. It's so dodgy, but it took me ages to figure out how to make it all work. And
that's fantastic.
But I don't mind that, actually. It's kind of cool. It describes what everyone's doing with themselves, and you'll notice I actually custom built it for this team as well.
Of course.
You'll notice that Johannes, the barbarian, is not in the list.
Yeah.
And spoilers, now you know why I had to rename our character a name that I had pre-clicked. It changes randomly every time you go into the shop screen. And there was no way I could change the image and upload it and get it on the stream at the same time as recording. Me and editing, we're not a long way into the editing learning journey.
We'll get there eventually. We'll figure this out.
So there's a lot of different unit types here. I'm going to look at Japan, but he's just a normal human berserker. Berserkers are kind of cool in their own right too. They get a lot of damage, so hopefully we'll get to see a bit of that with him about. But we just saw Umbra unit, which is obviously a dark sort of undeady, dark, evil unit thing.
But what do the octopuses do?
Octopuses are like... I think they're just basically melee tanks, but they can learn like ranged abilities.
Weird.
I actually haven't used all of the types. If you saw like how hard it was to recruit the other game, like it doesn't get easier. Recruiting is, you have to basically commit yourself to recruiting in that particular run. That's why when I
you should
started,
recruit this guy. He's hardcore.
it's a Terror Knight. We haven't seen one of them before.
The howls of tormented spirits can be heard. Jesus.
They have like debilitating spells. They can learn dark spells and stuff. So they're actually kind of like a opposite of a normal knight who learns healing. This guy can learn like paralyze and poison and things like that.
Neat.
Yeah, another type. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not even into like half the classes yet. And the formation of the team, you can see I've done a bit of research. I got my archers to a place where they're sort of out of the way. And you'll see that I moved ourselves to the side so we can sort of flank here.
This is a hugely advantageous map. Like, holy Jesus.
Yeah,
you can chokehold in so many places.
They have octopuses with a lot of health. Look at that, 230.
Yeah, and they can go through water really effectively, right?
They definitely can go through water, and we don't have that advantage. Only our Rune Fencer. So again, another Rune Fencer talent is swimming, which is cool.
He's finally finding a use.
You can teach them more abilities. There's one ability that they get in a little while that you'll see when they get it. It's just amazing. And when he starts getting like finishing moves and stuff, they just get better and better. This is our longer range archer. Problem is that these octopuses have so much resistance. Like only dealing 19 damage is really annoying.
Yeah.
So they take a bit of focus, and you'll see that the only way we can damage them is through our mages, which is why we needed a second mage. So the timing of picking up Anna was kind of specific. And the other thing is like, what would the barbarian have done in this map? He's low damage. He's high damage, but he can't hurt the octopuses. He doesn't have any armor. He can't really contribute much. So I didn't mind leaving him out. I didn't want to hire too many people. Plus, we don't have a lot of money. But here it was appropriate to get ourselves a second mage.
I really think that this game could do with like a sort of a hard mode. You know, like you get your Pokemon Nuzlocke, but sort of more of a roller, where you roll a dice, and it's like, okay, in this round you have to recruit someone. In this combat you have to kill the leader last, like stuff like that.
Maybe. Honestly, my knowledge of the game starts getting shakier from... I've done to a certain point a lot of times, and then beyond that I've only really done once or twice. So there might be a lot more missions like that. There's definitely some variety coming up that's interesting. I won't go into that too much, keep the surprise. There's one fight that I'm just dreading, and I'll tell you when it comes up. It's terrible.
Wait, the enemy team doesn't have a cleric.
Yeah, I know, it's the one saving
Free
grace.
win.
I know. That's why I'm so happy having 3 of them at the moment.
Oh, I like it, you trap your archer in. Good job.
Yeah. You can hear some of the stray blips of Steam again. I forgot to turn Steam off, and Patch was talking to me.
I always harass you on Steam, especially when you're recording.
If you've been watching our channel, you would see that we just did Civs 5, a very Australian crossover. Yay, plugging our own vids. And Patch is like, hey, I just finished this. I'm like, hey, I'm busy finishing this. Oh.
Yeah.
So then talk.
Yeah, we do try and, I wouldn't say it's a release schedule, but we try and keep active.
I think once you get out of the habit, that's the problem. Then you
Yeah.
stop for a long period of time. We had a time where we were a bit sick, and then we stopped for like 2 weeks, and it's like, yeah.
But we're back into the swing of things now. Oh, wow, that arrow just went straight through you. That was like magic.
Straight past my ear. I can't tell if Canopus is on my side or not.
Well, Vice certainly isn't.
Think. And he has like a two-handed weapon, which is cool. We don't have anyone like that yet. I think I need to... That'll be another thing we should invest in. Because the cool thing is when you get going, you don't use everyone every time. Like at the moment, we're kind of just using the 10 that we have. When you get to a team of like 30, well then you obviously only take 10 or 12 to each combat, so you can custom build your team. It's just a matter of having like all the right tools.
Not gonna lie, I'm surprised you didn't do like two-handed weapons on the main guy. Is there any particular reason he's using a rapier? Or is that like spoiler territory
No,
of what you plan
I'll
to do in the
explain.
future?
Spoilers so far as we won't be a knight forever. Like,
Of course.
And I believe that one-handed weapons is I believe that it like classes can only use certain weapons. And so what I didn't want to do was go into something like a two-handed sword that I don't know if every class can use, and then find out later that the class that we want our main guy to be can't use two-handed swords.
Yeah.
So that's the logic. I know that it kind of is the one sort of thing that takes away a bit of immersion from our main character, but I just wanted to make sure he was always relevant.
Was it last time we were watching this that I drew a comparison between this and XCOM?
It was in the most recent couple of videos, yeah.
Yeah, I really feel like, because one of the things that frustrated me about XCOM was the lack of a good versus multiplayer. It had a versus multiplayer, but you were limited to 6 guys, and like the customization wasn't really there.
Yeah, it was.
Whereas
there wasn't like any challenges or any modes or anything. It was just the same. Build your 6, go.
because I feel this almost has like the grounds for real.
I think.
Sorry, you can probably hear my back.
I can hear your phone ringing. Yeah, you go deal with that.
No, that's just a call center. No one would call me at this time. Absolutely no one.
In Australia, we have a really bad problem with call center people. It's what they do is they ring you, yeah, to sell things, but they also ring you just to find like at what time of the day you're home, so they can sell that information. It's terrible.
That's what happened. Is I picked up the phone the other day, not even a week ago, I think.
Right.
And there was like some chatter on the other end, and then it immediately hung up. I was like, oh, god damn it, that's got to be a call center. And since then, there's been a call over the last 3 days around this time on each day.
Yep, that's what they do. It's really disgusting, but technically it's not illegal. I don't know.
No, it's not. But it's just, I mean, if it was someone who really needed to reach me, I always have my phone near me, and that's the number I give out to everyone. I don't give out my home phone for this exact reason.
Yep. It's disgusting. I don't actually have a home phone. You have to get me on my mobile or not at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like anyone who really needs to reach me knows how to reach me. It's just call centers.
Yep. Excuse me. So, a couple of quick things. You've probably already seen on the stream, on the video, what the sole purpose of Anna is. And that is to cast as much poison as she can. Because poison deals like 10 damage every turn, or every so often, every so many turns. So I figured that's a good way to whittle down these octopus enemies.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Her Aqua Blast, because it's not... You'll notice that Bouchard is dealing a lot of damage. He has like Spell Strike, which gives him extra magic damage, whereas she doesn't have any of that. She doesn't have Augment Water, she doesn't have Spell Strike, she doesn't have, Spell Accuracy or anything like that. I doubt the octopuses would be weak to water anyway. So she's mostly just there for the poison. But magic damage is really, so you can see that was a huge hit because she has Augment Light, catch her.
Yeah.
And so that's the way to deal the damage to these creatures. So that's why we brought the extra mage. Even if she's just spreading poison, it's still more damage than the melee attacks will deal. Anyway, so point being, yeah, there's Hadrian swimming. He gets into a lot of trouble going down there. It was a bad move, but oh well, such is life. This battle's going to go on for a while anyway. We were going to continue our discussion about Battle Realms though, so I might swing over to you to introduce that.
Oh, right. Well, we talked about Battle Realms last time, and we're just getting into sort of the meat of it. We covered what was unique, and now we wanted to sort of cover the teams, because Battle Realms was really cool, and the teams were fairly unique. There are 4 teams, and we'll go one at a time, think back and forth, and in that case, Butley, what would you like to tell us about the Dragon Clan?
So I'm first. Okay then.
Yeah.
So, we mentioned, did we mention? I can't remember exactly. The start of the fight, the start of the game, I definitely mentioned this. You make a choice who to play with, and the 2 story-driven teams are the Serpent and the Dragon. And the Dragon are sort of the traditional, noble, you know, spiritual team. They put a lot of faith in, obviously, spiritual dragons, and you know, they are the, I guess, the yin side of the equation.
I think they're the yang side.
Okay, I'm sorry. The good side of the ancient equation. I'm really, really poor at things like that. And so they are supposed to be like honest and virtuous and all those things. As a clan, they play, I guess, traditional, how you would expect, right? They run through basic sort of spearmen and archers. They, oh, see here you can see the octopus doing range things. Yep. So maybe we'll try and get one of them because they're kind of crazy good. And Dragon, they have like their own special Dragon Warriors, but they kind of, I guess if any class is introduction class, it's probably them. All their units kind of do what you expect them to do. They aren't limited in tricks, but they're not as tricky as some teams in terms of like, you know, they deal sort of mostly direct damage that you'd expect, and they play out that way. Their story is kind of cool. Oh, if we cut back to video for a sec, that's a new spell. Remember how his Word of Pain spell is like in a line? And you have to have line of sight? Well, Meteor Strike,
is not.
Yeah, it's shorter range and it deals generally less damage, but it can hit like that. It's also crushing damage, I think, instead of like piercing damage. So spells have a damage type as well.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Every type of magic has it. So our Water Mage will have Aqua Blast, and then I think Acid Rain is the ranged one. Anyway, so what else do we want to talk about the Dragon Clan, sir? You can help me out here. What do we want to cover on each team?
They're sort of your martial arts people, like internal strength. They're a lot about tradition. Like a lot of their characters are inspired by old Japanese traditions. Like one of their units is based off a sumo wrestler, and then the biggest unit is based off samurais and sort of things like that. You got your 3 buildings, your 3 basic units, your spearman, your archer, and your chemist. And your chemist fires rockets, which is more Chinese, but they do have little rocket firing guys. And then, yeah, as you go up, you get more like honed characters. And yeah, I don't know, the heroes maybe?
Yeah, we can talk about the heroes, yeah. We can talk a little bit about, I guess, playstyle at the end as well, I think.
Well, it's hard to really talk about playstyle, because the teams are sort of, I don't know, it's sort of hard to, because there wasn't really much of a competitive scene, and in the scheme of playstyle, you're going to play the teams fairly similarly in the scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I just was sort of saying they sort of well balanced. All their units like multi-purpose really well. Like your spearmen can be fodder, they can learn like stuns and things like that. You know, your chemists can get more damage or they can get more disabled. The whole point behind the Dragon Clan is to have a bit of balance. It doesn't make them weak, mind you. They're still one of the most powerful clans. I'm pretty sure I almost always play Dragon. I just like them.
Yeah, I play a bit of everything because I like something every bit each
Yep.
and every team brings. So
If you wonder why Canopus is wasting his arrows on this knight out here, it's because she's the only one with healing magic, and I'm basically
Yeah.
just trying to bait her out away from healing these octopus.
I did kind of figure that's what you were up to.
He's it's funny. So what I like is we've had so many missions where it's like Canopus does everything. And here we have a mission where he's still useful, but he's not as useful.
Yeah.
Like it's tailoring your team. You know, maybe I should have picked the barbarian because he could have ran forward and hacked at some of these guys near our main character. But anyway, I mean, Canopus does come pretty useful later on anyway. But for now, he's just doing the thing. Here we go, poison spread. All right, so let's talk about. Do we want to go into specific heroes for Dragon Clan?
Sure. Yeah,
In skip Kenji.
I think so.
Can we talk about Kenji?
Well, yeah.
Kenji is
No,
the...
we'll talk about. Well, he's the protagonist,
Right.
so he can be dragon or serpent. So does he really count?
Oh, that's my point. I was just gonna say Kenji
Okay.
is basically who the story follows. He is protagonist. He basically becomes the leader of the dragon or serpent based on the choice that you make at the start, and he even changes a little bit depending on what team you go with in both
Yeah.
skill and art, like design. So I thought
The art
that was-
design for serpent is probably one of my favorite hero designs.
It's fantastic. Hey, I really like the design of all the units. I think it's really simple, but it's really nice for its time. And
Yeah.
it's still nice now. It just almost holds up.
Yeah.
But after Kenji on the dragon team, I guess I'm still leading. So the first one I think of
Sure.
is Atomo, which is basically
definitely.
an old friend and his second in command. Atomo, as far as I remember, is sort of his function is to be more supporting. He's just a warrior, a really good warrior.
He's a military commander.
Yeah. His ability is a support ability, doesn't he? Rallies morale or something like that.
Yeah, he increases damage of the people around him.
Point being that he's a support sort of warrior.
Yeah.
After him is it Garrick or Garen?
Oh, I think it is Garen, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Garen.
Garen's trick is he has an ability where he can summon horses, so he's another warrior. Not as like tanky as Atomo, but yeah, he can summon horses. He can just stand there and summon them, and he's supposed to summon them for him to ride on. But if you've got time, you can use him to just keep summoning them from. And they come from on the map too. They don't just like poof out of air.
They do actually. If you use it and there's no horses on the map, a new horse spawns and runs to you.
Oh, okay. But if there's
So-
horses, it takes from the horse pool that's out
Yeah,
there,
it
right?
does if there is horses.
So it's kind of good in the sense that it's also restricting them from your opponent as well.
Hmm.
So he's pretty cool. Who else is dragon specific?
There's Ara.
Ara? Is it Ara? Araya? Ara?
I thought it was Ara. A-R-A-H.
Okay. That sounds about right.
She is-
ranged.
Yep.
She's like the
I
best
think-
archer in the game.
By far, she's got the longest range out of anyone.
She has damage. She has a vision arrow that she can cast to give you vision of an area. Like, if you really are getting technical about, oh, I don't want to go in, she's really good at that. If she's just standing at the back DPSing, she's huge. She's pretty cool. I don't know if she has too much of a story. What's her introduction to the team? I'm not sure.
Oh, she knows Kenji somehow.
Yeah. I don't know if it gets
and-
explored.
She owed him a favor, I think.
Yep.
Like he saved her life once before, I think.
Okay.
And you save her again in the campaign. I was actually playing that very recently because I'm fond of Ara.
She's pretty cool.
But that's
And
all
her
I know.
range is ridiculously good. So she's
Oh yeah,
just-
definitely.
There's no team like you might say. Oh, Garrick's only useful sort of if they're horses, or if you think horses are going to be a big part based on the terrain and the map and stuff. Ara will always be useful though. So
Hmm.
it's amazing. There's a 56 damage on this octopus. Bam.
And then we've got-
Who else? Who else? There's one more, right?
Kazan.
You go with Kazan
Or
because
Kazan? He's a big fat monk who loves alcohol, and he breathes fire on his enemies, either as a projectile attack or he can breathe fire at melee range, which is useful because in this game, fire attacks can set buildings on fire, which does damage to them.
Yes.
So he can be very useful in that respect. Otherwise, he's just very tanky and beats face, but he doesn't do a lot of damage.
But that's okay. Like a tankier unit when Garen and Ara are sometimes a bit more damagey and less tanky, which is good.
Yeah. There is technically one more. If you're playing Skirmish, you have Tao, who is also a monk, but he's more like a balanced sort of thing. His theme is balance. When he takes damage, he can deal it to people around him. But in the campaign, you can get him on either side, so
Right.
he's a bit more of a bit of both.
And monks and ninjas are just sort of units. In the skirmishes, you can call up a few of them to help, but in the campaign, they just show up in certain missions. And they're your typical monks sort of fight well and they heal a bit better. Ninjas sort of are the opposite, equal and opposite in this world, and they fight equally as well, but they have stealth abilities and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
they're kind of
we
the
can go into
opposites. I like Tao's ability. It's sort of one that when you're playing casually, you don't care so much, but he can basically go invulnerable, but he can't attack during that time. But it's good to dodge certain damage or get the aggro off him or whatever.
Definitely.
It's just one of them things when when I first played, I was like, this is dumb, I'm never going to do that. Why would I want a guy to just do nothing? He doesn't gain anything. Net gain is 0, but it's about like, get him in there, draw all the fire, turn it off, try and turn the fight in your favor, and then bring him back out. Instead of him like dying, he's still useful to you.
Yeah. And there's also one other, which we haven't really had a lot of experience with, because they were exclusive to the expansion, and we didn't have the expansion growing up. We just had the ordinary game. And that's Teppo, who is he's like a super chemist. He fires lots of rockets instead of one rocket, but we don't know much about him. I'm actually looking him up as we speak because I knew he existed, and I didn't want to not say him.
Okay, so yeah, we covered quite a lot of stuff with the dragon. I mean, in the campaigns, you kind of get the characters that you need, and for the most part, you can't let them die. Later on, you are able to build a temple or a wonder or something. I forget what it is. A dojo? No. And then.
Do you mean the dragon shrine?
No, the one that lets you summon the hero units.
Oh yeah, it's just the castle.
Just the castle, and it will let you like rebuy fallen units. You don't rebuy them, you get a resource. When you sort of fight, you get yin and yang points, and if you've got the appropriate amount, you can rehire units. Which is kind of cool. I don't know if that applies for Kenji though. I think he has to stay alive the whole campaign regardless. So you're not really meant to run suicidal groups up there. You're meant to sort of kite in and out and help out. So the game is generally a bit slower. You don't die in an instant, so you've got time to sort of make battlefield decisions. It's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, then the dragon's final ability, final like mega building thing is the dragon shrine, where you build the shrine and you can have 4 samurai go and operate it, sacrifice to the dragon, and then it will do like I don't know what you call it, like it rains damage down on all the enemy units in an area. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
No, that's actually correct.
I honestly don't use it much. I tend to find that the versatility of samurai is much stronger, so...
Yeah, that's the sad fact is it's not worthwhile. It looks cool, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, other than that, like I say, the dragon team prides itself on balance and versatility. All your units sort of have dual functions when you start getting their abilities, and
yeah.
I don't know, I still like them. I actually really like them. I think their archers are some of the best units in the game, because you can get a couple upgrades, and they're just pretty solid. Samurai are great. Like, I like the idea that you can defend a position really well with archers and samurai, because you can have the samurai go into range, and if they ever come to try and kill your archers, the samurai can just fight like melee. Samurai also can get an ability to sort of negate, excuse me, what is it, ranged or explosive damage, so they're good. They can't take a lot of AoE damage sometimes if you have this ability procs. So. Excuse me, excuse me there. I am taking a drink to try and clear my throat. Maybe we go on to the next team. I think it's your turn.
Sure.
And I know which way you're going to go. Let's cover the main guys, hey?
Yep. So the Serpent Clan is the parallel to the Dragon Clan. For every bit that the Dragon Clan is noble, the Serpent Clan is ignoble. They are sinister. They are scumbags. Where the Dragon Clan's main bulk of their forces are noble samurai warriors who hone their skills as martial artists. The Serpent's main forces are swordsmen who are mercenaries hired from a tavern. Instead of archers who learn how to fire arrows really great, they have crossbowmen. Instead of chemists who craft chemicals in a specific art of their own kind, the Serpent have riflemen, musketmen, I think.
Muskets, yeah.
Yeah, who just wield a gun and shoot. And that being said, the Serpent Clan is actually very powerful in their own. They've got a lot of units that are very potent, but yeah, they definitely represent sort of a darker side, more mercenary, more rough and rowdy. They don't feel like an army as much.
What I wonder, like, it depends how, I guess, sympathetic to the Serpent you are, but I would almost say they're like from a more sort of desolate sort of upbringing. I think the concept of the Dragon Clan is like, this was the height of the empire in the world, and this is at our glory. And the Serpent are like, well, things all went completely up the creek, and the Serpent are trying to just survive. They're more crude, they're more they're not worried about how they survive, just that they do.
Yeah.
And again, the game doesn't make much attempt to try and hide that they're quite scumbaggy. But, depending how sympathetic you are is how much of a pass you give them for being like that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing the Serpent have is their heroes and their better units are more like Ronin. They're more like Dishonored warriors at that later stage than they are. Yeah. So they sort of transition away from the mercenary thing a little bit. I don't know. They're still very much mercenaries. They get a little bit dark towards the upper end. I guess, do we want to look at heroes before we talk about anything else?
Yeah, sure.
Because we don't want to. Because I figure we're not talking about specific units, more like themes this time.
Yeah, I like talking about themes. I think there's a lot in this game to explore, so if we can, talk about themes. Well, I've got one eye on, can I recruit this flying guy? See, I moved.
You can't reach him.
I moved Donatello closer to him, and I set everyone up in an arc so that he can only land next to Donatello.
Ah, okay.
In fact, I think I moved Donatello one square in a minute, just so he in the middle of the squares that he's in. Here we go. And like, if that flying guy wants to come and attack, I got him.
Someone got +5 loyalty.
Yeah, I'm not sure of what all that does. I know there are some kind of morale elements, but I haven't really seen them come into play too much.
Anyway, Serpent Clan has the best Kenji because he's got a big red serpent tattoo on his back, and it looks great. And he's shirtless, so
he's great.
he's a real hardcore warrior.
Does he keep that ability in both?
Yes,
both plays?
He does.
Okay.
He always has the best ability in the game.
It's basically
Critical Strike.
Yep.
Yeah, he almost kills a unit most times.
And that guy poisoned himself to death.
Shinja is sort of the other leader of the Serpent Clan. He is a Ronin, has 2 swords. He has a poison attack, and his special ability is to weaken others around him.
I really like we mentioned Otomo being support, and it's a really good distinction between the 2 clans. So Otomo is like boost your allies, work as a team. Shinja is like, he kind of is a support in the sense that he weakens all your enemies, but he's more of a maverick. It's like I'm gonna weaken them so we can kill them instead of I'm gonna boost you guys because we're a team. So
yeah,
he's a really cool dude.
He certainly seems more solo, especially with his poison effect.
Right.
Where Otomo attacks enemies, he can sort of inspire nearby allies to do more damage. when Shinja attacks enemies, he just poisons them. So it is very much the parallels between those two.
Right, and in game, you can use either effect. Like they both have their uses, so it's not like one's weak and one's strong either. They're just different ideologies. That's cool.
Then there is Budo, who is a slave master. He is probably one of the most tanky characters in the game. I think he's got one of the biggest health pools in the game. He is very slow and wields a whip. He's not very good at fighting. However, where he stands, peasants work faster. And he can crack his whip to also make peasants work faster. So if you need to get your resources up, he is a great character. Otherwise, he's sort of just a meat stick.
Yeah, but as we've said about Kazan, I believe, in the Dragon team, having tanky champions is fine. Like, you need a bit of that. Also, just quickly back to the game for a sec, you're going to see how good a Berserker can be when Zapan starts hitting us.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Like, that's not too bad, but you wait. In a minute, we sort of all get up close and personal with him, and yeah, then he starts really hurting. Alright, next Jero, go.
Utara. She is a geisha. There are geishas both on the Dragon and Serpent clan. And this particular geisha is basically, I don't know, how would you describe her? She's not an assassin. She's more like a seductress.
Yep.
Her attacks can stun, and she can otherwise, her ability is to stun in an AoE, like singing a song.
The geisha in general, as far as I know from my very, very limited history, they have different, like, not origin stories, that's a very comic book way to describe it. They have very distinct sort of what they were and when they were. Because yeah, there's the geisha as like the noble sort of basically healer, spiritual healer. And then there's the geisha that's like secret agent style, you know?
Yeah.
Just as much ninja power as a ninja.
Yeah.
And I think they're both represented. Obviously, the more noble ones are the Dragon Clan geisha, and they get healing benefits. And the other ones that are a little bit more sneaky, you can teach the Serpent geisha some offensive capabilities and stuff. So. And what did you say her name was? Utara is basically just a better version of that, in my opinion.
Actually, having looked it up, it's when she takes damage, she stuns nearby enemies.
Yep. See, that's really good.
The next on the list is Vetkin, who is, in the game, he is sort of the bootlick of Garen. He's the second in command, and he never runs out of stamina. That is his thing. Stamina is an element in the game. Units can run with stamina, they use abilities with stamina, and he never runs out of stamina. When his ability is to suck stamina out of other people, so that's his trick.
Yep, it's good. Stamina is a big resource when units are like, because you gotta remember, you're fighting a battle, for example, and if you're losing the battle, you can run away if you've got more stamina, or you can engage. That's why horses are a big deal, because they can give you speed without you wasting stamina and things like that. Stamina is a really important resource to manage, so having someone who never runs out of stamina and can sap the stamina out of other people, then that's brilliant. They can get stuck in battle, can't get out. Who's next on the roster?
That would be Taro, who again we don't know, but that's it's actually Kenji's brother.
Ah.
His older brother, Taro Hoja. He does. And his powers are basically magic. He has a magic sword.
Fair enough. Look at this. Ow. Now he meets a not armored unit. Like, Voltaire and Butley have really good armor. As soon as the Berserker gets in behind, a unit that doesn't have that kind of armor, he just wrecks him. Berserkers are cool. This guy is cool. We need our Berserker to be this good.
You do.
Gotta get that level up on weapons.
So the final thing for the Serpent clan is the Necromancer. And the Necromancer is sort of the parallel to the Dragon, where you can put 4 Ronin into a structure, and out of it comes the Necromancer. And he's great. He actually does a lot of damage. He can summon these 3 Revenants, and near corpses he can also summon zombies from corpses from his stamina. and that allows him to make like a supplement to your army, and he's very much worthwhile compared to the dragon.
Oh, he's great. He gives you free soldiers. He gives you sustainability in fights because he can resummon those ghouls when things are dying. And he's a warrior himself. He's a bit squishy, but at least he's more damage if you need it.
Yeah.
I think getting an extra soldier for 4 Ronin is fair, whereas getting the AoE damage in short term is not that great from the dragon.
No. And otherwise, I don't know if we have enough time to cover the other 2 teams. Can we do
we're
it
gonna
in
have to put
a
that
minute?
on to the next episode. This is winding down.
Yeah.
You can see that I said to Patch after recording this, like Zapan, he like hits on Quechua. And yeah, and we tried to recruit him. He's a mercenary. He's just a headhunter. He just wanted the money. We tried to convince him to join us because he's a good warrior and he has no allegiance. And we're just like, well, you could work with us. And he sort of said no. I didn't do anything else, but I thought that was a cool episode. I mean, we got a new character. We saw what it's like to hire a character, and I like the excuse me. I like the idea of building a character from scratch, so to speak. Everyone we've sort of had so far has already had certain skills and abilities, and we've just sort of built on them. We haven't started from nothing, so we might go down that path still, depending on who and what we get through and where we're headed and what battles are upcoming. Anything else you want to say in conclusion? We'll continue our Battle Realms talk next time. We've got more teams to cover.
Yeah.
But other than that, Patch, anything else today?
Yeah. I have nothing else to add.
Alright, well,
have a good day.
Thank you to everyone, and we will definitely catch you next time. See you later.